We just hit a major milestone in the podcasting industry, and now there's at least 2 million reasons to get your message out on other people's podcasts. Hey, it's Melanie Benson, and I am just astounded, but not shocked, that we have crossed the 2 million mark in the number of podcasts that are active out there right now on Apple. And with this milestone, it kind of brings back to the forefront that podcasts are going to continue to grow. There's 2 million of them out there, and that's up. I believe we hit the 900,000 mark as we closed out 2019. So Shazam, there's a lot of podcasts. But that also, this surge creates a really unique opportunity for you as someone who's building a business around your expertise. If you have a service that you want to help people learn about and to choose you, and ultimately to get yourself out of that best kept secret mode and start to attract excited paying clients and leads who you can nurture to become your new clients. But before I jump into my tips for today, I just have to kind of bring us back to something. I know a lot of people have been trying to get on podcasts, and one of the things is happening. One, they're actually getting on podcasts, but they're not seeing anything in return. And I've had people come to me and say, Melanie, I am trying to get on podcasts. I've been guesting on a bunch of podcasts and we're getting zilch, zero, nada. So if that's you, give me a little shout out in the comments and let me know. I'm sure the people who've shared that are not alone. There's a second category of people who really want to get on podcasts, but it's not working. So they're not actually getting their message out in a way that is helpful for them. So that is frustrating because you know there's value in getting your message out, but it's not getting picked up by podcast hosts. And whether you're using a podcast booker or you're doing this yourself, or you're using a virtual assistant or admin person to help you out, if you don't have the right set of what I call magnetic messaging system, it's going to be a lot of work for very little results because it's going to be hard for your topic to get picked up. And then the third camp, if you will, or category of people, and I see a lot of people come in to amplify your authority. That's my free Facebook group. And maybe you're in the Facebook group right now. They tell me, like, Melanie, I don't know where to start. Like, I don't have a message I feel confident about. I wouldn't really know how to structure what I'd say. And I know I'm putting an investment of time and energy in, and it's not working. And I don't want it to fall flat, right? So let me just talk through some things that are possible and some little hacks, if you will, that make a huge difference. And one of them is, like, everything pivots around a magnetic topic. And what's happening for people, yes, there's 2 million podcasts. And one of the great opportunities out there in the world right now is you have competitors who have a podcast who are probably never going to promote for you. They're never going to do an email to their broadcast list. They're not going to invite you to speak on their summit, but they will actually invite you to come on to their podcast. And that's huge. That is such a significant part of the puzzle. And if you can get in front of your competitors' audiences, and they're demonstrating the know, like, and trust factor, then you are shortcutting, or maybe accelerating is the right way to say it, the path to being able to attract those ideal dream clients. So when you think about what's the opportunity, we've got the other side. So you really, like, shine light brighter. You can get in front of more of your ideal clients and do it in a way that's really cost effective. One of the things I love about podcast guesting is, unless you're hiring a booker, it's pretty much your time and energy going into it. And secondly, there is so much opportunity because podcasts are evergreen. They are always out there once the episode is published. And I continue to get business from some of the podcasts that aired 8-9 years ago. And that's a really, what we love in the marketing world is evergreen lead magnet, right? It's like it's always to be bringing new potential clients into your list, into your ability to talk to them and potentially transform them into a client. Also, there's something that happens in a podcast episode where the person who's inviting you into the interview spot is lending you their trust, and you're borrowing their credibility, and that credibility is now being transferred to the listeners. So if you don't have your own podcast, you may not recognize that. And I see this in Amplify Your Success podcast. The listeners are real fans, and there's a real connection that you build. Like, they can't wait for the next episode. There's a connection they feel with you. And so when they bring a guest on, that guest gets to borrow that credibility, and that gives you an instant boost of authority. So imagine your competitors giving you that little boost, right? And even if it's not a competitor and it's somebody who's serving your ideal audience, but you do different things, that accessibility into a market that might take you months or years to on your own is so valuable. So I take all my clients, all my Amplify Mastermind, Amplify Inner Circle people through a process of figuring out where their visibility is going to get them the best traction. And podcast guesting, 9 out of 10 times, is at the top of my list. But usually there's one of those 3 resistance points that comes up. So here's what we do. And what I'm about to share with you is in my Get Magnetic Messaging program, which I'm happy to share a link in the comments and make sure you have access to it. You can also check it out at getmagneticmessaging.com. I share that just in case this is the trigger point for you and you're like, Melanie, I don't know what to do. I just want to make sure you know where solutions are for next steps. But here's something that everybody can do right now. And that is look at the topic you've picked. The topic you pick makes or breaks the whole thing. And I've tested this out several times. And what I find is that if you can magnetize your topic, and what I mean by magnetize, it has 3 components to it. 1, it's relevant. Okay, so I use a formula called the ROCKS method and Get Magnetic Messaging. And the ROCKS method is relevant, outcome driven, credibility boosting, and specific. And the more you can dial in the topic to really fit that formula, the more juicy, the more compelling it is, and it draws people's interest. It kind of stands out in the market because it doesn't sound like everything else. And the second thing that I think is really valuable is to look at the type of content that's been airing and really hone in a topic title that solves a problem that the other experts, or maybe even your host, are creating. So here's what I mean by that. Let's say your target audience is mompreneurs, and you're going to approach a podcast that focuses on mompreneurs. And let's say that the topics for the last few weeks have been how to market your business, and how to get on podcasts, and how to grow and scale your business, right? So it's about creating things. And your specialty is how to balance work and home life. Okay, well, that's going to be an amazing topic for a mompreneur who's been hearing a lot about do more, introduce these strategies, get yourself out there. She may recognize she needs to do all that, but maybe starting to feel overwhelmed. So look for ways that you can tailor your topics to fit a hole or a need that's being created. And that's one of my super stealth secret recipes that I help people and Get Magnetic Messaging. It's all right, let's pick some of the hot topics you want to get on, and let's customize a topic that's going to be really exciting. The third thing is to look at the way you approach the podcaster. So I'm a huge fan of connections, and I would say 9 out of 10 times the people that end up on Amplify Your Success podcast are people that I know. They're people who I value the work they do in the world. And so that connection is what I lead with. And you might think to yourself, well, how am I going to build connection with all these different people? Well, there's ways to build connection and momentum. And I cover all of these in Get Magnetic Messaging, but just for today, let me share one of them that somebody did who was pitching me. She was using a podcast booker, and I don't necessarily respond to those well. They're not always at the top of my list unless I recognize the person, or again, they've magnetized their topic and have really done their homework and are presenting a topic that's really exciting. Now, this woman actually has a topic that's really similar to some things I talk about. So I was like, I don't know, it's really close to what I do, and I wasn't feeling it. And I gave the feedback to the booker, and I said, look, it's like just not the right time for this topic. And what the woman did, who wanted to be on my podcast, is she created an audio message for me and was telling me about some of the podcast episodes she'd listened to and why she really felt that what she teaches could complement and add value to my community. Guess what? I ended up booking her. It wasn't right away. I did book her after a little bit of space because I've been covering those topics. But she was fantastic. And if you are curious which one it was, if you check out Amplify Your Success podcast this week, her name is Polly Alexander. And it really shared, even more impressive that she took the time to connect. So let me just wrap this up. I could go on and on and on. I got 6 weeks of material around this, but I think what's really at the front of my mind today and on my heart for you is I know that now more than ever, if you're making an impact in the world, if you have a message that is inspiring or transformational or could actually help people solve problems they're struggling with, the world can't afford for you to be a best kept secret. We can't keep waiting for you to feel ready. We've got to get you ready. And that's actually why I created Get Magnetic Messaging a year ago, actually. And 18 months ago, we offered it for the first time last February, was that I truly believe that if you can shape your message and feel confident and you can articulate clearly the powerful way in which you solve people's problems, you become irresistible. And someone who's irresistible has a full client roster. So let's get you irresistible. And let's make sure that you know how to organize your topic, your talking points, and lead people through what I call the golden thread from your topic through your talking points and into some kind of call to action that's so compelling that they can't wait to say yes. So if that's feeling exciting to you and you know it's time, go check out Get Magnetic Messaging, getmagneticmessaging.com. If you want a little preview, I'll be doing some master classes, and you can find the latest master class at buyyourworkshop.com. I'll drop that link. We usually do those on Thursdays, and you'll definitely want to catch the one on Thursday, April 22nd. This is your time. Let's get you clear. Let's get you confident, and let's get you out there consistently.